Norway. My 4 favorite knives. So here we go. Welcome to Sweden. I'm 200 meters from home, from my house, and they just cut the forest now. So it's a bit sad, but that's the way it is with the wood industry here. Growing, cutting. We're gonna go a little bit further away, a bit more in the old woods, Gammalskogen. I'm gonna show you my favorite knives. I have a lot of favorite knives now. I will show you 4 of them. Very one foldable knife and 3 bit more bushcraft, small size as well knives that are the ones I use all the time. So see you soon. A little bit more snow and then I'm gonna wait, titta här. Rådjur. Oj, titta. Tracking it. So it's a bit more quiet in here. A little bit further away from the wood industry, cutting trees. It's the perfect amount of snow for me because I don't need the snowshoes yet, but it's starting to be a little bit hard to walk here, especially when there's a bit clear areas. So I'm going south. Tack Robin för presenten. Thanks my friend for the gift. Really like it. Very cool. Time for the woods. It's a little bit whitish day now. Love this. Look at that. It's like an invitation for adventure here. Yeah, you wanna go there, you wanna go there, you wanna go there, you're gonna see what's there, you're gonna see what's there. I'm like a kid here. Nice. So here they are. My 4 favorite knife. You have 4 different countries here. You have France, Sweden, America, Norway. My 4 favorite knives. So I will start with the F1 still because this is I have 3 knives I can show quickly. The F1 from Fällkniven. I have the Utvaer from Helle, Norway. And ESEE modified handle from ESEE. I don't know how to pronounce that. ESEE American knife. So we have Sweden, we have Norway, we have United States here, and these are my 3 favorite knives, with a knife that is out of the competition, which is definitely not a Bushcraft knife, but it's my little foldable Laguiole French knife. I like this knife, but it's for mainly everything around food preparation, eating, cutting bread, you know, this kind of stuff. Very nice knife. So we start with the F1. No, actually we're gonna start with the Utvaer. It's I think it's my most beautiful knife. This knife is a real beauty. Come a little bit close. I hope you see it. Look at that. It's birch, curly birch handle. It's beautiful. Look, it looks like flames, and I hope you see here, because I don't have a screen here. You have like small spaces that are red. They are really getting the red of the. I really love this knife. It's beautiful. If I wanted a perfect knife with this one, I would make the blade a little bit larger. So I really like it. It's really cutting nice. The things I don't like with this knife is it's a little bit too light in my hand. It's just that I'm used to heavier knives, and it's definitely a beautiful knife, but I think it's missing a little bit of grip here, so it could be a little bit dangerous when it's wet. I like that it's not rusting, so you don't have to dry it all the time like other knives. I don't think the spine is because it's very shiny and stuff. They didn't do the spine extremely sharp here, but that's not a problem, because this part here is extremely sharp, and it's one of the good part of this Utvaer that I really like a lot. It's this. I'm very precise with lighting the fire. I'm not clumsy. I don't know how to say that in English. You don't bother about the length of the blade. You can be doing fire in a very small space. You're extremely precise with this. So yeah, I can start the fire in a small space. I love this. Is I think my best fire starter. To my point of view, slightly too light, and I would make it some kind of better knife, to my point of view, with a little bit heavier blade. So now I'm hoping you see something. You see the difference of the blade. So it's definitely better for food preparation, because it's 3 millimeters. It makes it very easy to slice and everything, but it's far away from splitting wood like a larger knife like the F1 or the ESEE knife. I will continue with the F1. So you see already we are in a completely different kind of blade. You saw this one is of course a Scandigran. It's a real Scandigran. There's not a third angle here. It's just flat and Scandigran, real Scandigran. Here you have as well flat. It is very close. It's almost, we could almost call it, I think, a Scandigran, because it's very close to this. But it's convex, so instead of having a flat here, you have a convex. But mainly half of the blade is a flat. Is flat here, and then the sista, even the last third is convex. Convex is definitely my favorite kind of shape for a blade, because it's the most solid. It's a slicer. You don't have to cut with this. You go in. It's definitely having good penetration, I think, in the wood, and it's very solid. It's I mean, you can't compare with anything else. It's like an axe, you know, same shape. Lots of people don't like convex because they think it's more difficult to sharpen. It seems easier with Scandi ground because it's flat and you can feel exactly the angle and be keeping the angle at millimeters precision. But I think there's only machines for me that can do that precise, and I think it goes very good. It's much more natural, I would say, with the convex, because naturally when you move, you do round shapes and you just keep that on the stone and you have your convex, no problem, on both sides, and it doesn't have to be exactly symmetrical. I mean, if you do something regular and you get so used to it that you do only the same thing, you have your convex, then you finish with your belt and you have the finishing that is like hair shaving sharp. So convex for me is the best. Not only I don't think you can manually have a really extremely flat ground unless you are in a room and you can do it by millimeters, but naturally I think in the field, for me, convex, I mean, these moves are round, they are not straight. It's only machine that can go that straight, and I think it's much more natural to have a convex. It's just a confidence thing. You just have to go for it and try, and it comes with experience. This knife is my most trusty knife. It's of course not the most beautiful knife. Here, so the shape is not like this. It's been eaten by mice. Yeah, I left it in Färöd. And there was a little bit of mice invasion, so they've been destroying quite a lot of things. And this knife, it's the best grip I have in all my knives. I think it's a pretty comfy knife, not as comfy as the ESEE, we're gonna see, but it's the most packable of my knife. It's really not taking much room. It's not the biggest blade, but it's 10 centimeters or 9.7 or something. It's definitely a wood grenade because it's so large here. It's 5 millimeters or 4.5 something. It's exploding the woods. It's beautiful, and because as well it's convex, it's just like slicing into the woods very easily. I love this knife. It's definitely my best wood splitter. It's very nice, and because of the convex, it's rounds. The wood, when it's getting splitted, it's touching on just on 2 points on the round of the convex, so it's just like going in. It's if I had to choose between all those favorite knife to go for several months out in the nature, and I would take this knife. It's solid, it's trustable, and it's a very safe knife. You don't feel any danger with this knife when you have it in your hand. It's a very easy knife to have. F1 Fällkniven, favorite knife. Definitely the most trustable knife on these three knives. Yeah, that was the F1, and now I will talk about the ESEE4 HM. So it's a new version of the ESEE4. So it's the same. Kind of the same size knives. It's a little bit more than 10 centimeters knife. Maybe you see it like this. Yep. So very similar, but you see it's slightly longer, which I think is quite nice because I can split a little slightly bigger logs with it. I really like this knife because I think it's a beautiful knife, but it's still it feels, you feel the weight of it. It's the heavier of all those knives. You feel the solidity when you have in your hand of it, even if you don't know, it just feels solid, sturdy. It's heavy, much more than this one that I think is a little bit too light. I like the round handle. I think it definitely has its own beauty. It's no bullshit with this. I like this kind of round. It's comfy. Whatever you do, you have a comfy thing. You know, you can be very close, like with food preparation, and it's safe and it's comfy wherever you are here. And of course, whatever the size of your hands, you have small hands, big hands, you will be comfy with that knife. I like this. Something I don't like about this knife is I think it has it feels like a weird balance. I think the way the balance is very deep in the handle, so it's a knife somewhere here. Okay, here's the balance of this knife. So you have the balance points more or less here, which make this knife handle heavy knife, and don't really like it. It feels weird, but I guess it's because I'm not used to it yet. But I like that it's heavy. It feels, you really feel your knife, and you don't struggle with wondering where you are. I like it. It feels very solid, and it's a flat ground and with a small V shape at the end of it. So it's a solid geometry for the blade. The steel is 1095, so it's a high carbon steel, so that will rust if you don't try it, if you don't take care of it. It's a little minus, but it's good steel. It's not a very hard steel. I mean, the hardest of the steel is definitely the G10. I think it's around 50, 58, 59 on the Rockwell scale. This one is around 56, 57, I think. So it's a bit more tender, high carbon steel, but it's very resilient. It's a bit more elastic, so it makes the edge lasting a bit longer. It's I don't think a V edge is as solid as a convex, but it will become a convex because I'm not a machine and I can't keep this perfect angle, and I will make it a convex with resharpening it, so it will become with the age a blade that is very similar to this one, but this one doesn't rust, which I prefer. But this one might have a better edge retention. This one is very hard and especially for being a stainless steel. But it's a little bit brittle. It's so hard that it breaks. Probably you can see it. I've been really abusing this knife, going into steel cans and stuff. So it's of course not what you should do with a knife. But here's it. This one should have a better edge retention. I will take more care of it, of course. I like that it's very large. It's the largest of my knife, so it's splitting quite good. I'm still more comfy with the Mauser knife, of course, but it's a good splitter. I like the shape of it. I think it's almost a good mix between these two knives. You have the very trusty, comfy, safe, good splitting. Oh, that was my dog. and you have the beautiful knife, and I would like to have a beautiful knife that is as good as this one, and maybe I found it here. So it's maybe not gonna be as beautiful as the Utvaer, maybe not gonna be as good as the Fällkniven, the F1, but I think it's a good compromise. It's a beautiful knife, and I think it has a quite strong identity. Look at that. Yep. So that was the 3 favorite knife, and then I will finish, of course, with my little Laguiole. Laguiole is a French knife from Massif Central, between Massif Central and the Alps, originally from Thiers, a French town when they are been doing knives for hundreds years. This one is called a Laguiole. You have 1,000 variation of this one. It's a very classic concept. It's a foldable knife. It's a real EDC. Even before the concept of EDC was existing, you had this in your pocket. It's of course not a bushcraft knife. You're not gonna take down a tree with this, but it's a food preparation knife. It's everything around food. You better than all those knives with. You slicing tomatoes or dry meat, or doing food, cutting bread. It's foldable, so it's very packable. It's as well one of my favorite knives. So here they are, my 4 favorite